Ladies and gentlemen, we'll make a start. My name's Hamish McIntyre. I'm a director on the board of Cotton Australia. We operate in southwest Queensland in the St George Dirranbandi district. We'd like to start this session to introduce our next forum and films for the AgriRisk Service High Achiever of the Year finalists for 2015. Our finalists are Peter and Carolyn Toohey, Scott and Joe McCallum, and Jason and Brioni Sinclair. You can start the film, please.
We couldn't do what we do without having that team approach.
I think we're also very fortunate in our ability to see potential new projects, and if we don't know the answer or how we might go about starting that project, we're able to source the right people from the industry to help us. And again, that gets down to people.
As far as with the gin idea, it's something that started from an idea which developed into a group talking about it.
Rooftop Gin is owned entirely 100% by growers. This really is Peter's brainchild. He's the one who got the growers together, got them committed to doing it.
We had a strong mandate to do it. It gives owner-operators ownership in their cotton. Energy strategy in regards to farming. One is to monitor the diesel, so we've saved 1 to 2% there. Power, we've set up about 130 kilowatt solar system across our pumps and all our farms. They're not going to give us immediate savings, but in time.
We have put together a group of people that complement each other. We spend a great deal of time and effort ensuring that they are multi-skilled and take an active part in all facets of our business, and that absolute trust in them that we have is why we're standing here.
About any questions you might have as the video's going on too.
We've always been passionate about the challenges and innovations involved with successful zero-till dryland cropping. We've always looked at sort of ways of applying nutrition in a more biological way and more plant-available way with our liquid fertiliser programs. Essentially, we're making our own fertiliser, and it's very cost-effective because we're manufacturing it all on farm. We have 3 5,000 litre mixing tanks. One batch will treat 65 hectares. When we were typically using urea and a hydrous ammonia-based system, an MAP, we could be spending up to $800 to $900 a hectare. Today, we're spending, on average, around $50 to $55 a hectare. We have microbes, calcium, nitrogen and water, and then products like zinc and boron, potash. It's like a big cake. I'm lucky enough to be involved in a really innovative group of growers called Australian Soil Planters. We have a large diversity of enterprises within our group, but we're all using the same liquid program. We're just finding that we're just using so little nitrogen now and just getting fantastic results. What we're doing, we're actually getting a better quality fibre and we're getting a better nutrient-dense grain. So we are starting to grow a premium product and trying to get into more of a niche platform where we can sell our product at a higher profit.
Been here 11 years, we've been running the show for 9.
Seen the biggest droughts, the biggest floods, the biggest cotton yields, and we're at a good location, and just the two of us. It's not a big enterprise, and it's not rocket science. We get down to the paddock, it doesn't matter if it's midnight, and we fit all the kids in around that. And we've got 2 lagoons, 2 natural lagoons. We pump out of them into our ring tank or out straight direct onto the paddock. Then when this is full up, we can just open this 1200 gate, and it flows back that way. Then there's another gate down there under the road, and it fills that lagoon back over to home there as well. We probably get 700 megs in this lagoon now. Since the floods, we've averaged 14.5 bales a hectare for the last 4 years. And this year we grew 16.9, was our best field. I think what drives our high yields is just our plan with our agro, and probably our commitment more than anything, and timing. But we don't let anything suffer. We sort of put everything else on hold, and we just look after the crop and give it everything it needs and just keep on it. But we did have 16 rows or something this year that done 18 bales.
What did you do there?
Oh, just more fertiliser. Sort of doubled it all.
Sort of accidentally.
Because we're small, we've got to grow big yields to
And we're willing
cover
to
the area.
just step outside the box. We wanted to try and push the boundaries.
We just push a yield.
Thanks very much. As you can see, we've got 3 great contestants there. On stage with our sponsor representative from AgriRisk, Dee McCallum, with our finalists. Firstly, Peter, Scott and Jason. Dee, would you like to start asking questions of them, please?
Thanks, Hamish. Peter, we'll start with you. Pretty impressive operation there. You have come a long way in a short time and now have established your own gin in a pretty unique model, with that being a grower-owned enterprise. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the thought process behind that and how difficult and challenging it was getting those people together?
Thanks, Dee. Yeah, look, in retrospect to getting the growers to sign up, probably the answer to that wasn't as easy as what we thought it would be. And I think the reason for that was 3 to 4 months before we floated the idea and business model to the wider grower community of growers and potential growers, I met with 8 like-minded people in the Carrithwil area and surrounding area, and we basically brainstormed, what would be possible for ginning for growers in the valley in a grower-based model. What became evident very early on there was that our small group was basically what was good, bad for ugly for us would be possibly the same for people in the valley or people looking at maybe growing cotton. And it was that in mind that we basically approached Sam Buster from Burke, who had been involved in a grower-based gin up there, to, I suppose, listen to our wants and needs. He listened to our motivations, and basically we set about defining those into a mission directive. And it wasn't until we'd basically got the bugs out of it that we took it to the wider valley and basically personally invited growers and potential growers in the valleys to float our submission to them and to get that feedback from them. And the overwhelming response from them was quite enthusiastic, amazing, and that gave us the impetus to keep going ahead with it. And I think the reason why it did get to the stage it has is because the plan was rigid, it was clear and transparent, and it offered ownership in the ginning process, which is what we now have with Rivcot.
Any questions from the audience for Peter? Can I see any hands? Okay, let's move on to Scott. We saw in the short video there your batching plant, which I think was something pretty unique, and you're obviously making your own fertiliser. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of the secret or maybe not so secret ingredients that you're putting into your formula.
Okay, thanks, Dee. I might just say first, we had been on a traditional system of anhydrous ammonia and urea, water run urea and anhydrous up front. Obviously with that, large associated costs, and as mentioned in the film, we have been zero tilling for an awful long time, and we felt we were making good inroads to natural soil fertility, and we could see the soil getting healthier. And so it was sort of a natural progression that we started to experiment more with microbial inoculants and a few different things, and it's been a pretty tough road, plenty of mistakes made, but where we are now, we do have it, we batch everything on farm, so logistically we're sourcing all our raw material, and we blend it all on farm, and we keep it pretty simple. I totally rely on sap tests now. I don't really rely on soil tests anymore, so I let the plant tell me what's happening, and each successive crop, so it could be a rotation crop or the cotton crop for that particular field, we just sort of keep a pretty good handle on it, and we can tweak the liquid blend fairly easily. So our product we're putting all up front at planting, and the second thing we do is we have a seed inoculant we make as well, and so we've been doing a lot of experiments with black cotton seed. We've been getting good help from CSD, and as dryland growers now, we no longer irrigate. We're having a few issues with some of the seed treatments, and so our seed treatment now is a microbial inoculant, and I also put imidacloprid and fipronil in that, and we're finding really good success for sucking insect pressure out to about 60 days. And when I worked out the amount of active we were getting in our cottonseed, and actually sat down and calculated what it was costing our business, it was about a 500% markup for the bit of active on the industry treated seed compared to the way we're now doing it. And I felt it just seems with the black seed, and it doesn't have to be black by the way, but with the treatment, we're just getting a far better uptake of the product, and also having the microbes in there, it's going straight in systemically into the system, and that's showing up in our root structure. In the liquid brew itself, it is fairly simple. We have a microbial inoculant, so it's sort of like the VAM. So the inoculant is getting into the onto the root system with a synergy there. We use quite a lot of calcium. It's probably the key ingredient, amazingly. We used the tiniest amount of nitrogen. We've wound nitrogen right back. We're down to sort of ridiculous amounts now, and you'll laugh. We're down to sort of like 6 and 8 units, and we're finding both nitrate and nitrates climbing, and almost getting readings where we use an independent lab in Tasmania, and some readings can come back where it's saying maybe toxic. So the N levels are that high. So it's very much shown not to be a limiting factor in the way we're running this program now. We also drop in a little bit of zinc, a little bit of potassium sulfate, another product called chitosan, which induces drought hardiness in the plant, and a few other bits and pieces we can tweak. But essentially microbes, calcium, and a tiny bit of UAN. Yep.
And again, any questions from the audience? No?
We probably do, but we might leave it at the end. We're running short of time.
Okay, sure. Jason, I think from the video we saw some fairly spectacular numbers. Average of 16.9, 17. Perhaps you can just tell us a little bit about what you think, the things that you're doing to generate such high yields.
Thanks, Dee. Yeah, we averaged 16.7 this year. The area was down a bit, but even last year it was red hot. We averaged 15, so we just got a different plan. Our nutrition, we've changed it. We push it pretty hard. We push our water pretty hard, and I think it's just a timing thing. And our agronomy team now from Gundawindi MCA, they work real close with us, and because we're a small operation, we just got to drive yield, and that's what we run it by.
Okay.
Take questions now, Dave.
Sorry, I can't see very well out in the audience, but if there's any questions, yeah.
No, we don't heat the water, so I'm just using local bore water, and no, not heating it, just mixing everything up. We can batch up to a month forward or on the day pretty well. I do put a food emulsifiable gum in it that keeps the product in solution once it's mixed, so we can have the whole farm pre-mixed and stored, and then we just tow it down the paddock to the planter.
Any other quick questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much to our finalists, and thank you to AgriRisk, and good luck tonight.
Thank you all.